I would say this. I would say if I'm in a situation where I'll talk. I mean, I have my own firsthand experience of this.
Sure.
And this is what drove me to learn the Bible languages. Was in the 90s, in the mid to late 90s. So we're talking like 1995 to 1999, right? Or 94 to 99, right in there. I was experiencing, I'll tell you all the stuff I was consuming. I was consuming Seventh-day Adventist material. Why? Because they had, now this is before, we never had cable, and this is before like internet and stuff like that. Well, they had like, you'd have a modem and things like that, but nothing like we have now. No Google, no Facebook, right? None of this. No cell phones, but they had a UHF channel that was like 24/7 Seventh-day Adventist stuff. And so I was listening to that Doug Batchelor guy talk about the Sabbath and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, like he's got some good arguments at the Sabbath. So I was listening to that. I was, and then that transitioned as I was like listening. I met some people who were, quote, that, considered themselves Messianic Jews in the Spokane area. And even the guy who was, quote, a rabbi, right? All this stuff. And started hearing different kinds of things being taught. And then I started being exposed to people who had different books in their library, from like Eddie Chumney to Avi Ben Mordecai, to then, as the later 90s, Michael Rood started coming around with the Prophecy Club. Oh, that was the other thing, the Prophecy Club. That was another thing in the 90s. And so they would bring different guys in who would teach different things. And at the same time, Chuck Missler. So I don't know if people know who Chuck Missler, but he was really local here, just over in Idaho. So I had gone over to see him, bought some of his tapes and stuff like that. So I was consuming this huge, wide swath of stuff. And I was exposed to enough, and it was all exciting, right? Back to the emotional element. It was all exciting.
Right.
But at some level, all of a sudden, it was like if you just looked at all the stuff I was consuming as a giant different texts, my brain's like, wait a minute. Does not compute. Like this, what this guy was saying really strongly doesn't fit with what this guy was saying. So I was in a predicament of, I don't know who to listen to. I don't know they can't all be telling the truth. And of course, Chuck Missler was pushing this Y2K thing, that all the computers were going to crash.
Right.
And Michael Rood was at the same time, 98, 99, Caleb, you know about this, was preaching that
99. Yep.
Yeshua was going to come back at Day of Atonement or Feast of Tabernacles in 1999 in the fall.
99. September 9th, 1999. I know it very well.
You were in Jerusalem at that time.
I was sitting with Michael Rood in a youth hostel on 9/9/99. Keep going.
Okay, so yeah, you could share about that again. I know you have in the past. So here's the point. The point is, for me, it pressed me to see. It's like the Lord used that to say, look, you're just pursuing. You're trying to get. You're in the wrong gear. Basically, it was like this. It was like, look, you're in a stick shift. You're in second gear, and you're trying to go 60 miles an hour on the freeway, and your engine is at like 4,000 RPMs. I say, it's not wise, because I was feeling anxious and wanting to like solve this problem. And when the answer was, no, you need root in yourself. And this is the difference between when Yeshua was talking about the seed, right? The seed that falls on the ground and it quickly sprouts out of excitement, out of joy. It sounds good, but then the sun comes up and it shrivels up and blows away. So what Yeshua is instructing us is that, look, we have to be like the seed in the good soil. That is it. It goes down and it's well rooted.
Yeah.
So that means I had to work on myself. I had to own that I was, what do they call that? I was, when a company has they subcontract or when they have work done for them from another, like cheap labor. I don't remember what you call that, but it's like I was doing that. I was being lazy. This is the truth of the scenario in all that anxiety was my own laziness with respect to the holy word of God.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.